Hey YouTube, just wanted to shoot a quick video and show y'all what I just did, how I replaced the rear suspension and disc brakes for the drum brakes on a base model Civic. So this is a 2012 Civic, and I had a donor vehicle. I had an old Civic, it was a 2009, and that was an EX. So the 09 suspension disc brake setup replaced these this suspension, the rear suspension, almost identical. The one, I guess the biggest change would be in the shocks. This is what I have on my 2012. The bushing is pretty thin. These were the bushings on the 2009 EX that I had. So I kept the springs. I kept the springs from the 2012, and the bottom almost completely perfectly matched the bushing from the 2009. So yeah, just look at your springs and your bushings and see what you have. That was the only very minor difference. It's pretty easy. You got 2 bolts for the lower control arm there. You've got 1 bolt for that control arm. You've got this upper, and then bolt on your shock. And it all pretty much just comes down. The wheel speed sensors were basically the same exact thing, so lucked out on that. I mean, the mounting was a little different, so you'll have to kind of zip tie it to keep it from flopping around or whatever. And so yeah, once you undo everything, it all kind of, there it all is. I just kept it all intact with the stabilizer bar intact and everything, so I didn't have to mess with those stupid stabilizer bar links. You unbolt it all, and on my vehicle, the only thing that was different in terms of pulling it out, the 2009 didn't have this, the 2012 has this. So your stabilizer bar, there it is, sits behind it. So when you undo the left and the right sides and you're ready to pull the sucker out, I just had to unbolt this guy here, pull it down, and stabilizer bar and the left and the right just drug right out. And what else? The brake lines, lucked out on the brake lines. So it terminates, the disc brakes terminate in this hose, and this is a bubble flare. Honda used a bubble flare going into this from the 2009, and on this, the 2012, Honda also used a bubble flare going into these guys. So they mount up a little different. The bracket, the hardware is a little different, but it's bubble flare and bubble flare, and goes into a line from the hose. So I just kept my hose, and the hose went nicely right up to the line. I did have to modify this bracket a little bit. There's a, see like a little dimple there? There's a little nipple that sticks out of this other end. So you've got your bolt hole here, you'll see it on your bracket, and then you've got a little drilled hole into the vehicle. And so on this thing, you can either drill out, there was a little bit of a difference, so you can either drill out that hole or drill out this hole, drill out this hole in the bracket or this hole in the vehicle to kind of, you know, make sure they line up where you want them. So it was pretty darn similar. Break the drill out and you'll be fine. And what else? Yeah, wheel speed sensor was the same, bubble flare to bubble flare. So all in all, it worked out pretty good. It was a super quick job. Probably the whole thing took me, I don't know, 40 or 50 minutes. So yeah, guys, you can take the rear suspension off of a, I guess that's 8th gen, and put it on a 9th gen, and it works real nice. Catch y'all later. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer. Oops, forgot to mention one last thing. The one bugaboo that did not work, of course, And I didn't tear those guys apart to see if it would have. I think it's highly unlikely that it would have. Is your e-brake. So yeah, I just cut the e-brake on mine, and what I'm gonna do, I'm not doing it today, but just to show you guys, I mean, a cable's a cable, so while your e-brake is in the resting position, you cut where you want to splice them together, and I'm gonna splice them together with some aluminum crimps and do a real nice job of it. But yeah, the e-brake was the only significant thing that you're gonna kind of have to MacGyver together.